Hello friends and fellow Monkeyology enthusiasts, we are back with the next leg of our Grim Fandango playthrough, and unlike how we ended last time, as you can see I am no longer stuck in a glitch. No, there wasn't some magical fix, I just got myself there again, very quickly. So, we are here, and I don't want that to happen again, so I'm going to take this part step by step and then go back to not doing so moving forward. I just am not okay. Thankfully, I have set a good safety save in the previous screen. So should something like that happen again, which was unfortunate. Basically, I experienced a glitch in this area where if I was holding this wheelbarrow and GloKidd's was already up here, spinning around, I ended up walking like off the edge of the screen, which caused everything to go dark and go to an overhead view. Controls then became unresponsive, and there was nothing I could do. I have a save file I can pull up. It's depressing, and we're not going to do that. The last couple playthroughs have had some glitches, which have been unfortunate. So, let's go ahead and move this damn thing. Ah. All right. Success condition met.
Ooh, careful, Manny! With the harmonic balancer turned off, those pumps might shake that tree apart. Oh, but... Oh! If we shook the tree down, those pumps would dislodge, and I could make high-lift shocks out of them for the bone wagon! Hold on, I'm going to unbalance that wheel with some of these weights. That'll shake her down for sure. Okay, just give me a second to balance these doggies.
And once again, this is why we're a terrible friend.
Hey, Manny! What are you doing?
Oh, crap.
scraped along the ground like rats. But from now on, we soar. Like eagles.
Yeah,
Like eagles on
Bills.
pogo sticks!
Pogo sticks. Ah, pogo sticks. That's good. Yes.
What a relief.
Ah, it's hard to say which one's cooler.
Transportation wasn't ostentatious enough.
Because the bone wagon is fucking
you
awesome.
afraid
The Deuce is fucking awesome too. The Druid Plow from Brutal Legend. And I mean, like, fully upgraded armor, all the cool shit. But this is gorgeous too, and it with yeah. I don't use the games. Spring lights against. Oh, it just does it automatically. Okay.
Manny, what are you doing? Don't you know what's on the other side of that gate?
Yeah, the way out of the forest.
Demon beavers, Manny.
Demon
They'll make you
beavers.
into a dam.
Relax, Geppetto. I'm not made of wood.
But Manny, they don't use wood. Hey!
So we don't go that way. Do I have to throw the bone out first, though? There's one. No, I gotta bait him out first with the bone. It's a rinse and repeat sort of thing. Hey, let's get that commentary.
We're like, what is the fire? What is the flame source for the beavers? And they're like, well, they have a nuclear, they have core. They have a nuclear core, so they're thermonuclear flaming bone beavers.
Yeah, you know, I have to say, flaming bone beavers. I mean,
You would think that
what
would be
does that remind you
controversial.
of? Yeah,
A band? A band name?
maybe. Yeah.
Let's go for 3. There's 3 of these demon beavers, at least that we've seen. So we have to clear the field so we can get things through. Thankfully, I believe in picking up a bunch of extra bones whenever given possible, given the opportunity. Yeah. Oh, I should have had that out before. Alright. That should be all of them. Peace out, demon beavers. I'm not walking. Alright.
These monsters have made a dam out of human bones.
I feel like
This scene actually, this is the beavers here, another good example of, like, you know, why you have to have coroutines in games, because you know, at least in adventure games, you have to have like a script that just says, how's this beaver going to behave? You know, what's he going to do? And at the time that people were making games, you know, the scripting languages weren't popular yet. You had a lot of games in C, and somebody would be trying to write in their game engine, in their game loop, and go run the beavers now. And in a scene like this, you had to be able to take that and say, this is how a beaver behaves. Right now, I'm thinking like a beaver. how would a beaver? He's gonna crawl over here and he's gonna chew on these things, and then he'll get tired and then he'll jump over here. The same thing with the pigeons and anything else. And that again, it's like I didn't have to think about the fact that they were needed. They were obviously needed. I mean, that's one of the things that Scum had made very obvious. Like, you cannot make adventure games without coroutines. They didn't even call them coroutines, though. I mean, we didn't even know what to call them for a long time until, I mean,
Threads.
They were just threads, yeah. And actually, well, that was one of the early experiments. I actually tried to use actual Windows threads, because this was a Windows game. It wasn't a DOS game. This is a Windows game. We can use actual threads. And I initially did try and actually have different Lua threads, and it was just so heavyweight. Machines are so tight, and it was so much overhead, and it was so complex. And it was like, no, we need something lightweight. It needs to be really focused on what the game does.
Also, whoever's in charge at Twitch should totally give proper graphic backgrounds to the remastered versions of Day of the Tentacle and Grim Fandango. Their current identifiers are not accurately showing any of the cover art and stuff, which I'm sure is hurting streamers that are trying to share the gameplay. And does a disservice to these great titles as well, frankly.
We can't fit down there.
Oh, get him put out.
We can't fit down there. We can't fit down there.
Not right now. I don't really want to do
Hey, TM, how you doing? Yes, playing the remastered one, yes. Thankfully, so, on the last playthrough, we ended with, me dying in a glitch, frankly. Not dying, obviously, being stuck in a glitch, at the Petrified Forest tree pump thing. And I had Glottis spinning around and was controlling the wheelbarrow. Somehow went slightly off screen. Yes, I am. And but I'll throw that on in just a second. And basically ended up the screen darkened and went to overhead view, became unresponsive, and yeah, so I basically had to catch up from my last save. So, and yeah.
Well, this is the area that Tim and I would make a lot of jokes about because, producer type person, I need to shorten the game, cut it somehow. So this area, I would, say, hey, we need to cut the beavers. Does that make sense?
He's like, no way, not cutting it.
Oh, well, the whole time we'd fight about it, and it was that one kind of thing where, that was the...
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, so I'll restart that track. Got distracted by doing things.
Look out!
It very much does. mounting the bone wagon animation, but one that I see continuously. So is that... It's actually... Okay.
Not here.
Yeah, the fact that it was... Okay. So like, oh, okay. Try to put it in front of each one and just see which one it actually points to. No, it says go that way, and now Manny is facing. I always hated this part, to be totally honest. I'm gonna throw that
This is the area that Tim and I would make
commentary
a
track
lot of
back
jokes
on.
about because, you know, producer type person, I need to shorten the game, cut it somehow. So this area, I would, you know, say, hey, we need to cut the beavers. Does that make sense?
He's like, no way.
I'm
Not cutting it.
Oh, well, the whole time we'd fight about it, and
It's
it was that one
to
kind of
get
thing
through
where,
to where the key is,
that
I'm
was
sure.
the
But
story I told a little earlier about the
for
ship.
some reason, I've
You know,
always
and
had
he
problems
said,
every time I've gotten
Leslie,
to this
a game
part.
is like a ship, and the ship is going, and it's going to keep going until it stops. And I was like, what kind of logic is that? It has to finish at some point. So I was like, look, the beavers got to go, and they'd always be on the list. And he actually drew me a little pictures on a napkin of like the armadillo, the beavers on fire. And he's like, why did you cut me, Leslie? Please don't cut me, Leslie. And he would just poke me.
Because none of them are the right one?
Yeah.
And I don't even need to be in this area? Or does it have to be in this area? So like there?
Look out!
There.
Look out!
Okay. No, it's totally not, but then... Yeah. So here, though? Let's try it from here. No, it says this way. Because I thought that's what I was doing at first, but I can't really see. It looks like it's pointing this way, so I'm going to try that. Okay, so like here then, I guess. Okay. 1 second. If I hit the right spot, or if you see me, there's a delay in the chat always anyway, so that's very hard. Okay, so where I'm at is not it, so there. Because like this looks like the center of the screen to me, or maybe here. It's just because there's a delay. I'll these are really tiny dark. It's right here. Here? or here? Maybe. Down and right, like there. Okay. All right. Yep. It's pointing at that guy. Point at that one. Oh yeah, I guess red is there, eh? No, no. Like if it's a specific spot, it's not giving a very great visual cue.
Look out!
Okay, I guess that's a pretty good indicator. That feels so random.
Loteria.
Thank you very much for your help again, ATM. Always appreciated. Sorry that that was one of the more frustrating times, I imagine.
Manny, I'm scared of that sign.
Why are you scared of the sign?
Out of the way!
Look at. Well, let's go faster. I wish it was just like in
Looks like
default
some
run.
sort of warning sign. They'll tear you apart bone by bone and build with you a human throne. Their buck-toothed king will sit upon what once was you, but now
I
is
already
gone.
dealt with
This
the
key
demon
unlocks
beaters.
the gates
Don't
of
worry
hell.
about it.
Steady traveler, use it well. Can't pass up an old creepy key.
What the heck? I'll go back for the commentary then. No, and to that effect, just every time you notice that I haven't noticed the thing, please
Okay,
just
the
let me
beast
know,
of
because I
Black
do
River
want
are
to
blowing
do the.
bubbles at the bottom. So let's power on through, huh, Glot?
Manny,
Oh,
look at
it's
that
not gonna let
badass
us
gate.
back
I
there,
can't
is it?
drive through that. We have to find the key.
Híjole.
Well, I'm gonna try.
Look out! Out of the way!
Yeah, it'll let us back. Okay, cool. Yeah, it seems to no longer be. What? Okay. So yeah, I guess I
Okay,
I
the
messed
beasts
that
of
up.
Black River are blowing bubbles at the bottom. So let's power on through.
Manny, we have to.
that should work. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. I'll get off at the 4-way and then walk there. Because it won't let me pass Gladys without, so... Yay.
This is
Yeah.
like a callback to those brave young men and their jaunty jalopies. You ever seen that movie?
Mm-mm.
Those outrageous young men, their flying machines.
You know, that I remember.
There are these two crazy movies from the 60s which were all about, it was kind of like the Wacky Races, but a real life version.
Interesting.
In the
Yeah.
flying machines,
And it was like one of those movies, it was kind of like Wild 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 World or whatever, like
It's
a
Mad
Mad World, where all these people are chasing some crazy prize, but the cars in it always had things like that. I think that is a direct lift. Like one of the cars would have these hydraulic shocks that lifted up, or just
Right.
crazy extending things.
Right.
His vehicles, the vehicle designs get progressively better and better. Although earlier I was trying to decide which one. Versus. Okay. I thought Manny was like walking out of bounds somewhere and I hit another glitch. Thankfully not. Gonna have to go back and... Why does it have to go back this way though? That's fucking weird. And that's... taking the long way, but bringing Gladys back.
Look out!
But yeah, no,
East of Black River are blowing
that,
bubbles
going
at the
back to what I was
bottom.
saying, they got progressively better and better. I mean, Ben Throttle's bike is my dream motorcycle, even though I get it, by contemporary standards, is sort of ugly. With the giant flare, I love it, and it's the only motorcycle I'd ever want to have, which is really nice. And then the Bone Wagon is fucking awesome, and the design is just really, really cool. I've never been a really big car guy or really cared about
This
any
one
of that
was,
stuff.
How could you ever cut this?
I know, but programmatically,
But at the same
it was
time,
buggy,
I would
and
be if I
it
had
caused-
something
it
that
was
cool.
hard. No one
Um,
understood
Bone
like,
Wagon
how to solve this puzzle for quite a long
is
time.
very
And
neat.
so I was like, look, I gotta
The
pick
the
something.
Deuce,
And we hadn't
when
started
fully
it yet.
upgraded,
And so
is
this
fucking
this
awesome.
Is a classic Tim technique. When you want to cut something,
But
he
it's hard to
will
say
start
which one I
putting
like
it in the
more.
game.
I have to
So,
say the design for the Bone Wagon is
everything
just a little bit
gets
cooler.
in.
So
So, yeah, funny.
and I'll replay that because I fucking talked over it.
This one was
How could you ever cut this?
I know, but programmatically, it was buggy,
Yeah.
and it was hard.
Okay.
I don't know if I like driving over people.
They can't feel it, they're dead.
What dead? I wouldn't want
I will
to
put
drive
on the
over
commentary tracks
Because you
and
and I,
just
Gladys,
stop
are
doing
friends.
this. So keep killing the tracks.
Manny.
And that one, there's no coming back to. We're going to a completely different area now. That place is done.
Hello? Miss Colomar! We're here to save you!
Hey,
lay off the racket, the whole town's asleep.
But I want a drag race. When they get a load of my car, we're gonna be the talk of the town.
You're right. We're gonna have to find a good place to hide that road show. Speaking of hiding, I wonder if Mitch is here already. I'm gonna go see what I can stir up. Not a bad piece of real estate, actually. It's got potential.
So.
The glove compartment on the bone wagon is full of tiny ketchup and mustard packets, not to mention soy sauce. I have bigger things on my mind right now than condiments. Mr. Flores, I'm ready to take you now.
Manny Calavera, is that you? Didn't you used to be taller?
I'm here to reclaim that walking stick.
I broke it over the head of some hideous monsters in the forest.
The character Celso is played by a really funny actor called Peter Lorre, and when he came into the studio on the first day, he had this real look of apprehension about him, and it turned out the word in Hollywood was that Grim Fandango was code name for Star Wars Episode 1 casting. So when he was coming in for the project, people were telling him, "You're going to be going in, and George Lucas is going to be there, and they're going to be flying you up to the ranch," and he was terribly disappointed when he walked in, and the only person in the studio was me.
That's hilarious.
I'm looking for a woman named Mercedes Colomar.
Well, no one's come through town by that name, and you can take it from me. I, too, am looking for someone, so I watch the comings and goings around here very carefully.
Who are you looking for?
Well, if you must know, it's about my wife. I got word that she passed away not long after I, and that she, too, was crossing the land of the dead on foot. It is said that all lost souls come to Rubacava, so I came here to wait for her.
You must love her very much, Celso.
Yes, this is true. Of course, she also has all of my money.
How do you know your wife hasn't gone ahead of you?
Oh, Manny. If she had arrived here first, surely she would have waited for me.
Interesting.
I'll help you find your wife. What did she look like?
Oh, here. I got this from the DOD and made copies to
Was
hand out.
that
Isn't she something?
She must
part
have
of
been
any
beautiful
of
with
the
skin.
documents
all?
that Winnick, what's it, Winnick? Probably wrong. Okay.
So, know a good place to stay in town?
What's your price range?
Somewhere around the high end of nothing.
Then maybe, young man, it's time you started thinking about a job.
That's cool. Oh, okay. All right.
Can you get me a job here?
That's
Have
very
any
cool.
skills?
Sales?
Well, that does qualify you for a certain position, but we only have one mop.
Just was sitting there
I'm sorry,
on a
Manuel.
cork
I've
board
got to
somewhere.
Get this place ready to open.
Right.
Well,
I'll let you know if I see your wife.
She'll be the one
not like-
asking for her
Let's use
beloved
this.
Celso.
Are you sure I can't...
There's only...
excuse me.
Maybe I should place a personal ad.
I tried it, believe me. It attracts...
Maybe I should place a personal ad.
Excuse me. Captain guy would be here by now. Alright, clearly yeah, I see that. Let's go back.
I really wanted to have this moment of Lasco bonding with Glottis, not like through the magic of cars. I'm talking about engines and stuff, and
But Velasco wasn't here.
cars bring people together. Talking about
Yeah.
engines,
Plus,
because I never had sports.
internal
I
combustion.
never liked sports. I wasn't not into the manly unifier of
That
sports,
does make a lot of
Me neither.
sense.
But cars you can talk about with the toughest of dudes.
That's true. That's
like-
true.
Yeah, I've never been able to talk cars very well, I hate to say. It's like, oh, I can't go that way yet.
Ooh.
They had to. Ow.
Yeah, tourists. You gotta watch your step around here, stranger. Rubicava ain't the quaint little port town she used to be. Well, hell, looks like there's a new vessel in town. Pardon me whilst I go check her out.
People who can pull off unique voices like that, they deserve
Actually,
a
it's
very
mostly stock
prolific
with a few mods here and there.
body
So,
of work.
would those be
in
glass
voice
packs I'm hearing, or turbos?
It is.
There was this one high-pitched whine it was making, really grating noise, you know? And I searched and searched, but I couldn't find the source of the noise until we pulled in here. Was it the blower? No, it was Manny screaming in the back like a cat tied to a cruise missile. That's a
Nice.
good one. Hola. Hey, Manny, Dockmaster Velasco here says he's got a place we can dry dock the bone wagon for a while.
Oh, yeah. We can't leave a beauty like this out in the fog, or her chrome will get pitted.
Pitted? Did you hear that, Manny?
You folks gonna stay in Rubicava for a spell?
We're here looking for a woman named Mercedes Colomar.
I'm not too good with names. Did she have any distinguishing marks or a tattoo?
Not that she showed me.
Well, like I said, I'm as good with names as you are with the fog.
I might be here a while. Is there any work in this town?
Well, there's lots of work down at the docks, but it's all union work. And I just don't see you in that union.
How do you get around here with all the mist?
When you've strolled these docks as long as I have, Pilgrim, you know where you are by the smell of the sea.
It is
by
sort
the
of
sound
awesome
the
that Manny
lonely
shows up here
foghorn,
and then
by
just
the
sort of
icy
takes
touch
over.
of the cold, salty air.
Wow. Manny, could I have an eye patch?
Can I just ask, what is under the eye patch? Because I know it's not an eye.
Oh, well, when I was alive, I had an eye patch like this. This one's just for the phantom pain. And that one eye socket used to scream like a banshee when the trade winds blew, so I plugged her.
Hey, Manny, we were in the middle of a conversation here.
Hey, okay.
Let's see here. But, like, we need to ask him about Salso's wife.
You sure a woman named Mercedes Colomar never came through this town?
She might have. I don't know. I told you the first time, I'm no good with names.
Yeah, but we need a picture or something. Did we get one? Or... Yep.
Ever seen this woman?
Oh, if this is the woman you're looking for, take my advice. Forget about her. She sailed out of here weeks ago in a cozy portside cabin built for two, and she wasn't alone.
How do you know she sailed out of here? I don't believe it.
It's a tough break, Junior, but you gotta face it. Here, look it up in my port log if you want it in writing. 6 weeks ago on a Tuesday. Ticket for two, paid in full.
Sorry,
I
Salso.
cracked the champagne on the bow myself.
Hey, Manny, we were in the middle of a conversation here.
Hey, okay.
Look, I know how you feel, son. Once I lost a very special lady myself. I waved to her from the docks as she sailed out of port, and I never saw her again.
What was her name?
The SS La Mancha was her name, but don't make me talk about her, because I just can't do it.
Sorry, Salsa. Wait, do I have to do it? Sorry, but not that sorry, Salsa.
Celso, your wife sailed out of here 2 months ago with another man. It's all in there.
Oh, Manny, is there a greater constant in nature than the treachery of women?
Forget about her, Celso.
Have you forgotten yours? I'm going after her. You take over my job here. This mop at least will never let you down. That compass in the handle will sure come in handy too.
If you missed that and not know that. Like, what? Okay. One year later. Calaver Cafe. Just taking the fuck over. Becomes the Manny we all know he should be.
Hey, boss. You gonna come downstairs? I got a customer asking for you.
You know I don't like to mingle with the customers.
Well, you may want to mingle with this one. She sounds like your type.
So we're gonna go ahead.
Looks like a quiet night in old Rubacava.
Well, we'll hit the
Just the
commentary,
amount of
and then after we're gonna
research that
save.
went into all of this, because I just remember Tim going to every film noir movie ever, and we would just all the time there would be something to do, and he's like, "Want to go to the movies?" And it was just, I mean, you can see it, the dark shadows, and then the music. I mean, everything is just so film noir and really pulls you in.
Yeah, I remember us
See,
all going to see Casablanca, and I think it was in the.
I'm not
Castro
sure then why they
It was
didn't
one of
bother
those old
putting
San
a
Francisco
black and
theaters.
white
I don't know
mode
which
in
one it was,
this.
but it was the whole gang of us went, and
Yeah, remember? Did you
Seems
guys
like
go
it would
to
work
the,
really well.
The Golden Gate Fields for the horse races? I know they
didn't
weren't.
do that.
Not,
I wish.
that was part of it, because I think there were some scenes around that, and that was just fun. I mean, just the research
enough.
trips.
Yeah.
Those were fun.
But I wonder now with the additional layer over top, if there's any way they could do that as a filter. Now I was gonna save. I'll show you at least the preview of this is the hardcore glitch that I got into. I can load that if I wanted to, and that'd just bring me right to the state that I gotten myself in the first playthrough. Pain in the ass. It's just a darkened over headshot, and just everything's it's broken at that point. That button. But I clearly have to go down there. But I'm going to talk to this person.
So these is like scenes are from the production of the game in a way where Leslie would come to me like, "Look what I made! I made a chart of every single scene in the game plus every single actor, and I coded it. Yellow means Manny's in it, and blue means this prop is in it." And she's so excited about these things that she did, and this character is doing the exact thing.
Yep.
You have to take things from your life and put them in your work, even though they don't read anything to anybody else.
Well,
Otherwise,
that just means work will be about life rather than life being about work, right?
Exactly.
Hmm. If we were to put archetypes to Tim, Ron, and Dave, Tim would be the artist, Ron would be the mechanic, but what would Dave be?
Think she'll come in tonight?
Manny, you ask me that every night. What am I supposed to say?
You're supposed to say, yes, I think tonight's the night.
Yes, I think tonight's the night that you
Okay,
finally
new-
go
new
nuts
on the
from
balcony
waiting
kick
for the
check.
grand entrance of Ms. Mercedes Colomar.
Let's try that again, shall we? Think she'll come?
Yes, I think tonight's definitely the night.
Thank you. It's my fault she's out in the woods alone, you know.
If you say so, Manny.
Bogan coming yet?
Yeah, he's down at the casino, probably enjoying his usual lucky streak.
How's the flow tonight?
We're dead tonight, Manny. Everybody's back home for the Day of the Dead, I guess. Except for the casino. The casino's hopping. Why is it that all the people who don't go home are the same people who just love to gamble?
Well, I guess when you've got nothing to go home to, you've got nothing to lose.
Hey, we should put that over the door.
Damn.
Everything okay back in the land of
It's
fur and
bleak.
fedoras?
Everything's in order. It's beautiful. I can't wait for people to come in and try the new system. It's so cool. Want to hear about it?
Okay.
Okay, tell me all the details about your new co-check system.
Yay! Okay, I found all these plastic tiles
I
in
have
the back,
worked with more
left
than a
over
few
from the
people like
automat,
this.
and guess what? They all have numbers on them. So what I'm doing is, I give one to everyone who checks a code in and... Manny, you're not even listening to me. I go to all this work organizing your coats, and you don't even care.
Lupe.
Forget it. Don't pretend to care.
No, I want to hear.
Hup. Oh, I'll tell someone else about it. Someone who cares.
Okay, back.
Okay.
What do I have? Just my side. Okay. Now. Commentary.
I wish you would slide down the banister because we put a lot of effort into sliding down that banister. Come on, slide down the banister. I recommend any player who's in this room slide down the banister. It's much faster than walking.
Especially if you're 6 and you don't have terrible consequences when you hit the bottom.
You should not try that at home. Actually, kids, you should. You should go slide down the banister of your house right now.
Everybody's got to do it once.
I had a pretty awesome banister when I was, well, in the house we were at. And yeah, we slid on that shit all the time.
Hello, Manny.
Hola. Quiet night, huh, carnal?
Day of the Dead ain't good for business, Chief. But last night, remember last night, Manny? Oh, wait!
What's that you're playing?
Oh, this is just a little, love song for a special lady.
Sing a little bit of that song, why don't you?
Well, I only have this part. Bone wagon.
I like it.
Okay,
You
I'm
think
not
she'll
sure.
come in tonight?
Who, my special lady?
No, Meche.
You know what,
Eh.
Manny? I think she will. I got a feeling tonight's the night.
Okay, we already said that. Does anything that I can currently say prompt that to happen? Because I only have 2 selections left, and I don't want to accidentally send him off without doing this.
Later.
Out.
It's gonna exhaust my dialogue.
You know, when we leave, I'm actually gonna miss this place.
Aw, Manny, why can't we just stay here? We got
Pardon
a
me.
fancy club. We got 3 squares a day. Max lets me take the bone wagon out on his kiddie track once a week. Plus, we look good in these clothes.
Gladys, I can't live in this world forever. It's not where I belong. I've got to find Meche and help her. Because if it weren't for me, she'd have been on that train a year ago.
Okay, Manny.
Well, I'll let you get back to practicing.
I don't need to practice, man. I'm good.
At this point, I'm gonna have to say pretty much not a whole lot. I have played this game the least probably out of all of them.
I remember animating Manny sliding down the banister.
It's not that I dislike the game. It's a wonderful game.
remember,
It's
Tim
it
kept calling for something.
inspired a fondness
He's gotta
to
look
the art
cool.
style and characters
And
in
so I
me
did
that.
that, and I don't think he was ever really happy with it. So I don't know. Apparently don't know what cool means.
You gotta put some Ray-Bans on him.
Yeah, I mean Manny's a suave guy, but I don't know if suave guys slide down banisters. Maybe I should have done it slower.
So yeah, this is probably the first time I've made it to this point of the game in a very, very long time. So
Marillo de Oro. A very fine liqueur filled with solid gold flakes. Nothing but the
But
best for my customers.
a few
my rich customers.
attempts at playthroughs through, but have gotten distracted partway through several times. Again, nothing wrong with the game whatsoever. I have no complaints about
Yes,
it.
I
no.
better take
And I
this
can't
with
really
me
put
for
my
safekeeping.
finger on to why I've often gotten distracted from it. But I guess it does give a bit of a benefit of being not as it's a very long game. We've spoken about that previously through like in the Discord chats and stuff too. But yeah, as I've often said, that this is unfortunately the game that I've played the least, and when it actually comes to having picked up all the titles, it was probably the one that I picked up last. I had Escape from Monkey Island long before I had a copy of this one, and my first copy of it I actually ordered from LucasArts themselves before they shut down, their own online store. But it was like tail end of it. It came in a jewel case instead of the big box. Picked up my big box of that eventually, recently actually, and it's actually a French version of it. Had the benefit of being something different at the same time as solving the wanting a box for Grimm on my. I do appreciate the point and click interface that they've added, though.
Le numéro gagnant, le 36. Rouge, Peripas, 36, red. Mesdames et messieurs, faites vos jeux s'il vous plaît.
Oh wow, I forgot about that mural. That was supposed to be sort of really good. Oh well, thank you. I did that. Did you? No, I did, but it was based on like a Gustav Klimt.
Gustav Klimt, yeah.
But then I also did those really bad textures on the roulette wheels, and
Oh, they're fine.
oh no, but I remember Adam Schnitzer actually getting angry at me. He was like, "Don't paint light in the paintings."
Who got angry with you?
Oh, not really angry. I mean, he only hit
You probably
me.
felt the same way as when Tim said, "Manny's not cool enough sliding down that banister."
Yes.
Just make it cool, Canadian animator.
What's that about?
That's now so not cool.
Jeez.
Right. So what are you doing in it? Didn't I tell you not to come back until you can pay your bar tab?
Oh,
or they kicked me out of that cat track for printing fake betting stubs. So now I have to come here, Manny, which I love, which I love.
How did you print fake betting stubs?
With this. Isn't she beautiful? The last time I was incarcerated, I shared a cell with the most dishonest con man I ever met. He was strictly small time, and I managed to steal this from him quite easily.
Thanks. You never know when this may come in handy.
Hey, give that back to me, Manny.
Maybe once you settle your bar tab, eh, Charlie?
Oh, Manny.
What else can you counterfeit?
Nothing. Anything.
So can you make
I
passports?
seem to remember
Manny,
during the
you
time when this
still
came
think
out.
like a living man
So
in
there was a
so many
copy of
ways.
Grim
No
Fandango
soul
in my
needs a
local Radio Shack,
passport.
which was
We are all citizens of the
locally
same
owned,
nation, and our
that
king
sat there
rides a pale
unpurchased
horse.
for the longest
So no
time. He
passports.
kept it at full
No.
price forever.
No, that little hologram is so tricky.
When I finally went in to buy it, it was gone. But it had been there for so long, and that was just very frustrating. And then that Radio Shack closed, and we didn't have anything for a while. And then we got the Source, but it was like a dealer store inside of our bookstore. And I really wanted to work at a Radio Shack, and that back then it was
How about
still
driver's
parts
licenses?
and stuff.
Sure. Just give me a recent picture.
But they
50
never really
bucks
gave me a
in,
shot,
about 2 weeks,
but then
okay?
there was
When I
like
think of something I need, I'll come back.
a bit
I'm
of
not
a
wishing
boom
well, Manny.
occurring in the area, and so the Source Corporate decided to open up their own store, and I then worked for them for the next 8 years. So by that point, it was very far from Radio Shack. The parts that they did carry, they got rid of after the first 2 years. Then it was, yeah. In the side document, there was a Union box now box. Interesting. There's that,
Why aren't you over at the roulette table?
in the commentary, there's
roulette is
the
for
person who
lonely
keeps
wigs
talking
and
about
Frenchmen.
the
Why don't you
things
get
they had
some
to cut.
slot machines,
So
Manny?
maybe that was
Everybody,
a victim
old
of that.
women, little children, they all love slot machines. And I have a system, an infallible system for beating them.
I think slot machines attract an undesirable element.
Oh, well, we're all undesirable, Manny.
Yeah, but your credit's no good to boot. Tell me your system, Charlie.
I can't tell you my secrets, just this. You have to become one with the bandit, Manny. You have to get inside the machine and make it want to pay.
On second thought, stay away from my roulette tables. All my friends are lonely widows and Frenchmen.
Except me, Manny. I'm here to keep you sane.
That sounds like it should be the album, like the name of an album.
That's a nice suit. Where'd you steal it?
Well, I mean,
Manny,
with
if
Manny's
you learn to
getting
play
them
the odds
started
like
with the
Chowchilla
fucking casino
Charlie,
and stuff,
then
it's
maybe
bound
you
to
too can have a suit this fine someday.
eventually get taken over by the
Well,
mob,
I've got a club to run,
especially if, you know,
Oh
he
yes,
leaves
please, Manny.
this plane of
Get
existence.
on with your glamorous life.
You know, some people say you should always walk away from the table when you're on a winning streak.
Oh, yes, but I'm feeling extra lucky tonight.
Everything okay down here?
I'm going to need some more tips if Monsieur Lucky does not call it a night soon.
I just want to have a really international flair. I guess because Casablanca was very international. But also, I love the game Last Express, the Jordan Mechner game. Last Express, you're on a train.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of listening to conversations that are not presented at full volume.
I love you.
Dropping. You're walking down the hall and you hear someone talking in a room, but they'll often be very quiet, but also sometimes in another language, French or German or something. And just the idea of like overhearing a quietly spoken French
Could you possibly
conversation
bring me a
so
drink?
neat in that game that
Awesome,
they
thank
tried
you,
to have
Beth.
people talking in other languages. And
You're charging my
the
buddy.
croupier in the gambling room is speaking French.
Yep.
Le vin, noir, berry pass, 20, black.
Not while they're
Mesdames
losing.
Manny's
There's another
music,
one.
the Casino Calavera music is that was a big moment for me doing the score because it was done fairly early on, and it.
And
kind of,
isn't the name
it determined
Bogan
a lot of
used
other
again
stuff,
in
just sort of stuff
Psychonauts?
that,
Or no, that's
get that sort of
No,
Gene
it's like
Krupa thing
Dogan.
going on in the beginning. And Gene Krupa,
Thank you, my love.
You're welcome.
one of the great drummers of all time.
I'm more cold, no more cold.
No.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you.
Le numéro gagnant, le 11.
You're
Noir,
awesome.
You're
Imperial
awesome.
Bank, 11, black.
Not while they're losing.
House pays all winners. Le banque paye. Mesdames et messieurs,
I love
faites
you.
vos jeux,
I
s'il
love
vous
you too.
plaît. Ladies and gentlemen, please place your bets.
Not while they're losing.
Mesdames et messieurs, rien ne va plus. Les jeux sont faits. Ladies and gentlemen, betting is closed.
You
No
know,
more bets,
re-talk to some of
please.
these people.
Not while they're losing.
How am I?
Le jeu noir,
Has still
berry
had-
manque.
I don't really want to do that.
But
Le numéro gagnant, le 6, noir, berry manque.
yeah, I can't just like side them. And this is
Me and this ticket printer, we're gonna make a mint.
yeah.
Le numéro gagnant, le 0, berry manque. 0.
You know, like going backwards for no reason, but maybe I messed up. So. Oh yeah, there's a whole other door. Let's do that.
Meche?
Manny, help me. I've been lost for so long. Why didn't you look for me?
I did. You ran off. Why?
Because you said I was no good. I've been all alone in the world for a whole year. And it's all because of you!
What the hell? Off. The hell, man?
This gonna be an annual thing with you, Manny? Every day of the dead, you toss your bones into the drink and I fish 'em out?
I don't plan to be around that long, Velasco. As soon as I find out where that ocean liner's going, I'm after it.
Ho ho! That ship's going to Puerto Zapato. That's the other side of the world. Ain't no ships going out that way but the old limbo here.
But nothing. If the limbo's my only hope, then I'm already on board.
Well, good luck, son. That's all I got to say.
That's Kay Cuter, and Kay was, I don't know, late 70s, early 80s, and he had a big, long, gray beard.
Yeah.
And he was a raging smoker.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
you'd have to break him every 45 minutes,
Oh,
otherwise he'd start getting into a really bad mood. And on one of those sessions, he plays the croupier later on, where he speaks French and English. It's just, he delivers the numbers. We were behind on time, and so I sort of pushed him to an hour, and all of a sudden I found myself in an argument with Kay over how to pronounce 20 in French.
Oh.
And so I was like, it's definitely time for a smoke break. On
Yeah,
get out of here.
Got there.
Not a bad little ship in a bottle you got going there.
Yeah, well, there's that Rubikava craft fair next week, and also...
Here, let me help you with that.
Ah, there's some things a man's got to do for himself.
It's locked.
I know, I locked it.
It shone pale as bone as I stood there alone, and I thought to myself how the moon that night cast its light on my heart's true delight, and the reef where her body was strewn. Don't have that kind of equipment. Together this time. It shone pale as bone as I stood there alone, and I thought to myself how the moon that night cast its light on my heart's true delight, and the reef where her body was strewn. Together this time. It shone pale as bone as I stood there alone, and I thought to myself how the moon that night cast its light on my heart's true delight, and the reef where her body was strewn.
That is very cool. Let's see.
It's locked.
I know, I locked it.
Well, let's talk to you. Again.
All right, so I'm ready to sail.
On what?
On the Limbo, man. Let's go.
Manny, the Limbo's not a passenger ship. She's small cargo, son. And every hand on board works.
I'll work.
What are your skills?
Sales and restaurant management.
Oh, hey, there is one opening on the Limbo's crew.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's in the engine room. And your buddy Glottis would be perfect for it, but he'd have to get his own tools.
Okay, if I get Glottis some tools, can we board?
He can, yes. No offense, Manny, but there's just no place for you aboard the Limbo. She's fully manned already. In fact, her whole crew's on board, ready to sail at dawn. Except for that one guy.
Who's the one guy who hasn't boarded yet?
Yeah, well, Seaman Naranja's a little late, but he'll be here before they sail.
What job did Naranja have?
He ran the galley.
Aha! Restaurant management.
Yeah, it's similar to what you're doing now. Except the fish is fresher on the Limbo.
What if Naranja doesn't show up? I can fill his spot, right?
Manny, you're not even in the Maritime Union.
I know that, and you know that, but we're two guys who can keep secrets, right?
Glottis is exempt, but the captain will ask for your card. And if you don't have one, they'll serve you to the sharks like chum. And what's worse, I'll get fined. It's a tough union, boy, and I don't mess with them.
What kind of tools does Glottis need?
Authentic CB equipment only.
Where do I get authentic CB equipment?
Why don't you ask a CB? Afraid of getting stung?
Where do you think Naranja is?
Probably home selecting recipes for the trip.
What's going on in that bottle? A tugboat?
This happens to be a perfect scale replica of the SS Lumbago. I'm just having a little trouble getting the walking beam to fit in the neck here.
That's funny, because a lumbago is usually more of a problem in the lower back than the neck.
Yeah,
Nothing. So let me get this straight. If I get Gladys some tools,
then I can get him a job on the limbo.
and if Seaman Naranja doesn't show up for work,
But he will,
and I get a Maritime Union card,
which you'll never get.
then I can sail on the limbo in the morning.
Jeez. I guess so.
I better go finish packing.
You do that, son.
Hey. It just seems like makes sense to have more saves. Put that there. What's this way? That looks fun. But like go faster. There we go. That's handy.
It's strange. The characters in this game don't like to go into crowded areas, almost as if it's too hard to render them.
Wow, somebody really liked this cat. They don't have much use when they're alive, and stuff, they don't have much more. I don't need one of those.
Is the display itself making meowing sounds?
Fuchi, that smell. Es peor que la muerte.
This is one giant fucking cat box.
I could open it with my teeth, but I'm not that hungry. It says revolutionary design leaves can ages safe and smooth for Kitty. Great. Now it smells like a giant cat litter box and some sort of gelatinous demon mystery meat product in here.
Wait,
It's already open.
keep it now.
Smells good. But I'd rather eat my own arm.
I may have to go perform some deadly duties here pretty soon.
I'm not sure what I hate more, crowds or cats, but I'm definitely not going near either one today.
They do dig cats here.
Hey!
5 minutes to post.
I have that ticket printer too.
Looks like a great night for cat races.
Cats racing. We were always so sad that we never showed the cat races, but that was for budget reasons. Obviously, we didn't want to cut the actual cats, but I wanted to have giant cats running on a track like that.
And the idea of a cat's racing being herdable enough to race is pretty. Why cats?
Why cats? There was a. God, I don't remember. Why cats? That's a good idea.
I mean, I just remember making the music going wow, wow at some point because you're near the kitty litter.
I was just mentioning that myself. Let's talk to them.
Post time, no more bets.
Anybody there?
Look, I told you we don't have any kitty hats today.
What?
You have to wait until Tuesday. That's kitty hat day.
I don't want a kitty hat.
Fine with me. What's your bet then?
I don't gamble. It's a conflict of interest for me.
Then why did you call me down here?
For the friendly conversation.
Please keep off the track.
But wait, what if I just want... That thing looks way cooler than it is. Well, here's the commentary
Like
anyway.
background scripts that do things is you enter a room, it's like it's, you know, start all these scripts when you enter the room, like they do all these background actions. Then when you leave the room, it's just to stop all those scripts. And it was all, you know, left to chance because, you know, left to programmer error. And there was one. So we were talking about this earlier. There's a script that runs the cat races, and it runs the announcer for the cat races. And it actually, true to Tim's attention to detail, he wanted it to actually simulate cat races. And
there
actually,
are actual cat races going on.
There are cats that are being raced, and the same name will show up, and you'll hear this cat getting ahead of the other one. I think Chris Purvis did that.
Yeah, and the odds are real. The winnings are real. It is.
Yeah, Manny's wallet fills up, and of course no. The cat races are running, and so it's in the background. The announcer's running, and it's the simulation of these cat races being run. And yeah, they never killed that script. So you play the rest of the game from the cat scene, and the cat race simulator script is always running.
Yeah. Yes, from the moment the cat races start to the end credits of the game, the cat race simulation is going on.
There's still kitties racing today.
Yes.
Guiding ground, leeward Louis.
That's fun.
Hissing pretty, coming into the home stretch.
Oh, sorry, monsieur, but this is the elevator to the High Rollers Lounge.
That's where I'm going.
It is members only.
You must be new.
And you must have a VIP pass to come upstairs. Adieu.
How big were those when you drew them? Like the posters and the murals and stuff. We could actually work rather big.
Did you have Photoshop back then?
We had Photoshop, but I don't know if we had layers back then.
Oh, we had layers.
I think we did. Oh yeah, we had layers, but maybe
Paul just
only.
didn't know what they were.
No, but I think too. You only had one undo or maybe two undos.
Oh wow.
We have a winner. Hissing pretty in first, followed by Pause and Reflect at the third place.
Speaking of database, I mean, that was really how we accomplished so much, right? Is from an organizational standpoint of the music, of the sound effects, and of the voice. And I remember, especially for voice, how critical it was. And what we in the sound department would do is inherit and share the use of the database with the voice department. And you could do a search and isolate all the lines for, say, Manny, or isolate all the lines that needed to have reverb baked into them, or another type of processing. And then you would just divide and conquer and just master everything in groups and bring it all together, have a single reference for volume, and use the database to keep organized and isolate different found sets of different criteria.
Wow, Manny Calavera. You never come up here to see me anymore.
Well, I thought you could use the company with everybody gone for the Day of the Dead.
In that case, Manny, why don't you stick around until 6? That's when I get off.
Her character's a little bit inspired by, I think it's Big Sleep too, where Bogart is hiding from someone. He needs to hide in a bookstore.
Right.
And he goes in there, and there's a woman in there, and she's really into him.
Tippa Ben-Hur 1863 edition, the one with the errata on page 47 or something.
Wow, that is a memory. Yeah.
Well.
And it's just really, he looks at her, and he's like, she seems like she's really attracted to him, if I remember correctly. And he like takes off her glasses and is like, yeah, okay. Like it was really kind of messed up scene. But
well, it's that that was the subtext of the noir film.
I do appreciate the reminders.
The hanky panky.
And I'm trying to get into the habit of hitting Z in every room.
Is all a reference number 2 or inspired.
That's
by
an older message. It's not that much of a delay thing. That would be terrible. How are my frames? My frames seem to be solid. Hopefully there hasn't been any drops or anything either.
Busy night?
Hardly. Everybody's gone home for the holiday already. This place is dead, and I'm bored, Manny. Bored.
What's the shuttle waiting for?
They're just cleaning it, but they're very thorough. We run a tight ship here, you know.
Can I try out your metal detector?
What's your sudden interest in metal detectors, Manny?
I just want to borrow it for a secret project.
Well, I'll show it to you when I'm on break. How's that?
Why don't you come by the club anymore?
Well, to tell you the truth, Manny, it's your little coat check girl. All that bubbly energy, I just want to strangle her.
I've tried that. It doesn't stop her. I think it's time for your break. We could slip in the back for a little drink. You can tell me all about your job, the danger, the metal detectors.
That back room's all business, Manny, and so am I.
What kind of business goes on back there, Carla?
Strip searches. And you don't qualify.
Don't I qualify?
Why don't I qualify for a strip search?
Manny, I agree it would help pass the time, but we have procedures and rules here, and you never know when they're watching. I can only strip search people when a regular search turns up nothing.
Hey, it's worth a try.
Ooh, I love this part. Sir, if you will, please place all of your belongings on the security desk. Oh, you're clean. Rats, Manny, I almost got to strip search you.
Alright, puzzle to find. We have to find something that we can effectively hide upon our person. That will allow for...
It's locked. When did you put in a floor safe?
That's our new contained detonation chamber in case someone tries to come through here with a bomb.
Since when does Rubacaba have a terrorism problem?
This town's changing, Manny. It's getting tougher every day.
Speaking of...
Huge.
I'm a strong believer in things that should be, when you're making stuff, it should be something that could only been made by you or in that group of people, and at the time you made it in the place you made it.
Yes.
You know? I think Grimm is definitely that case. Like, that's one of the great things about Grimm. I think it's a collection of amazing artists like you and the visual artists and the programmers and the actors, and everything that came together for that game was just such a was almost an overwhelming distraction of amazing artists coming together. Like oh my God, look at that background. Oh my God, listen to this music. Oh my God, listen to that voice. So I just I think it makes that game really special. But it also has a lot of personal details that are just kind of woven into it that makes it so, like, even if we were making this game from scratch with the same intentions today, it would just be completely different.
Hello, 30-year gamer. Thanks for joining. Okay, come on, man. Let's look at the damn thing.
Hey, the new blimp is already in full operation. Let's just hope they fill it with something non-flammable this time.
Unfortunately, I probably will be only going for about another half hour or so, because then my children will be home, and we'll have to do more dad stuff. But yeah, we basically have finished up in concrete floors, and I had to start from the last save and whatnot, but I did that before starting the stream at least, so I got to the part where it glitched out, and then, yeah, been continuing on since then.
It only goes to the land of the living, and there's nothing for me there.
So blimps go to the land of the
picking
living.
that
That's
up.
interesting. I should check that. Oh, that was a message from the man. Ooh, but look at that first. Like, walk closer, so... Commentary? No, you're not getting out of the commentary. You get...
I
There
don't
we
know
go.
why there's so much union jokery in games that I've worked on, but I've always found it maybe because it was a big part of like movies that air like on the waterfront, you know, and not so much unions, but mobster corrupt unions.
Right.
There's always a big part of that, you know, going on, and then also like worker, anti-worker, communist themes going on. Like it was all tied together, and I don't know if that all sprung out of On the Waterfront or other
Well,
movies.
On the Waterfront though was kind of, I mean, it was sort of championing the plight of the working man, but it also
he
was
was trying to
talking
get-
about the dark side of the union thing for sure.
But it was a corrupt union. It was
Yeah,
a
it was.
mob-run deal.
That's true.
Let's look at that. Do you have a look message before I go?
I know that statue's supposed to mean something about justice, but I don't know.
Holding a couple rings equally high in the air. I don't know. Is this year 2 or year 3? I guess this is probably only year 2. I think we've only had like a year pass so far. I could be wrong though. If I am, please correct me, ATM. Commentary.
I remember at the time it was a big debate.
Thank
like,
you for
should
the
you require
reminder as
P100 or P133, like penny 100, penny 133. It's like, nope. Your target platform is whatever was on sale at CompUSA for $500 last year.
It's like a P70.
Yeah, it's like P60. I think is what we ended up with as the minimum spec. We ended up going for P90 at the end, but it was one of those things where it's like those kind of constraints where it's like you really could pull it off with all the kinds of machines we had in the company, but the average consumer who we wanted to sell the game to did not have a machine like that. So that's one of the vagaries of the PC market that still persists, you know.
Yeah, and you wouldn't, you know, when you think about Grim, you wouldn't necessarily think, but there's like all hand-coded assembly rasterizers in here. There's hand-coded assembly blitters in here. Lots of like layout asset management.
Yeah, absolutely.
All you know, this was a tricky game to optimize and to get running acceptably on the kind of machines that people were going to be running it on. But it doesn't, you know, it doesn't come off like the same technical challenge as a Jedi Knight or something like that. And it wasn't.
It's
I mean,
it's
was,
different kind of technical challenge. Much more kind of interdisciplinary.
It was really getting all this weird stuff happening at the same time.
Is the audio a bit better? I raised the volume a bit. Good. Okay. I had a Cyrex system as well. It was a 486 DX66, which is not. I didn't play this back then, but and that was a 486 nonetheless. And it caused integer divide by 0 errors with the 16 color Secret of Monkey Island for years. I've gone on at length about that in the past.
Reward
I remember one time showing Pete something. He said, well, I don't like it, but I don't know why.
Interesting.
And which is the most helpful criticism that you can ever get, because you don't know how to fix the thing. But I'm being facetious.
Reward offered for cargo stolen from shipyard receiving area, including a large suitcase bearing the initials HL. What a horrible jail cell. Then again, it sure taught Glottis a lesson that time. Only Police Chief Bogan knows how to get in there. Not picking that up.
That would make sense. Oh, let's look at that.
What a horrible jail cell. Then again, it sure taught Glottis a lesson that...
To go to the office. Just some more sadly cut
Late night
content.
at the
Although,
morgue,
as
isn't
we've
it,
stated,
Membrio?
it's a fairly long day.
You know I can't sleep with John Doe's on the slab, Manny. If I don't ID these rose gardens tonight, I won't be ready for the two that come in tomorrow. And before you know it, I'm up to my ass in azaleas.
Commentary.
How
on
was the
that, I'm sure
lighting
there was
handled on
one
the
that I missed.
characters in each environment? Does anybody remember that?
I think, however, we were able to set up a couple of lights. I think that was it. I mean, wasn't there some information that you guys would take the set? Because didn't we have to save a copy of our sets with, like, you know, the key light and the fill, or just I thought we would save a version of the very simple.
That's possible, yeah, as a like a starting place. But I mean, it was all very kind of rudimentary.
And you had to be really strategic with, you know, what is the best use of a minimal amount of lights to accommodate the character in the entire scene that he's got to be in.
Yeah, there was no, I mean, for all this stuff, there was no roadmap or procedure for like, oh, this is how you do 3D forests or light character. I mean, we'd had to make everything up and solve every problem to get everything to happen pretty much in this. So there's a lot of just on the fly, different people figuring stuff out per scene, how to make something work. And as a result, some things work better than others.
Any leads?
I know it's a poor coroner who blames his tools, Manny. But how am I supposed to turn up anything with the equipment they give me?
Hey, I had a government job for years, man. I know how you feel.
Oh, Membrio, my brother actually makes Membrio, which is a quince jelly that you eat with cheese. Membrio means quince. Why are you
Sure
looking
doesn't
at me
sound
like
like
that?
it.
Membrio.
Oh, Membrio, that's different.
Yeah. What'd you think I said?
I'd hate to end up like this.
Then take my advice. Buy an ID bracelet and wear it always.
Wouldn't match my cufflinks.
I think we're gonna come up to Garv's set that I destroyed. That I destroyed 2 weeks of Garv's work by trying to learn how to 3D model, and somehow I ended up erasing 2 weeks of his work.
Oh no!
Because it was the fish place that you had to redo.
Oh yeah, the elevator.
Yeah, the elevator and that place with the fish.
That sucks.
definitely should give a huge shout out to Peter Chan, and yeah, I'm still jealous of that guy.
Chan the man.
I know. Just when those packages would come, it would just be like Christmas, and you'd open, you'd see those, and you just think, oh man, and he's a nice guy too. You know,
the weird
happy
thing about
family.
that was I never experienced like the delivery of the package firsthand, but I still got excited about it.
No, they're beautiful, and he's such a sweetheart. Oh, and I'm sorry, Garv. This is the set that you had to build
this
twice.
This is Garov's, right?
Yeah, this is the one.
This was the gift that kept
and it's
on
actually
giving.
very beautiful, I might add.
Yes. Well, a second time is.
The second time.
But I'm sorry. You were saying that was a real building.
Yeah.
Where was that in Spain?
I think it's in Paris. I think.
Oh.
And I remember seeing a photo of it and being like, "Wait, Peter."
No. Good artist borrow, great artist steal.
Blue Casket just doesn't have the zing of Calavera Cafe, you know?
Well, pretty much if it's not completely obvious at this point. It's been a very, very long time since I've made it this far in this game. And I have previously beat it, but I do believe not very often. It's been a really long time, and it's certainly been a long time since I've stuck to play through this far, and so I'm not gonna say blind because there's gonna be little hints here and there. No, I don't think I've played through the full remastered yet. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I have. So, this is potentially, like, I'm not sure. Blind is the wrong word because I've played it through, but it's so long ago that it's like it doesn't even count. Anyways.
Hi, what's your name? Hi, what's your name?
But don't you see? When the government fades away, so will our troubles. Ah, nonsense. We will always need some armed force to fight off the return of capitalism.
That sort of fascist thinking is as dead as you are, comrade. When we get rid of all the guns, that's when people will begin to self-police, and the public opinion alone will keep them from committing crimes. Hola, trust funders.
Hey, look who's making the scene. It's Manny Calavera, the up, the down, the backside of the nouveau riche.
Beat it, dinner jacket. We're talking about things you wouldn't understand, like truth and beauty.
New costumes. Now they're dormitory train.
Look, this crap except me.
Shh! Manny, I'm on a stakeout. I'm gonna prove to Maximino once and for all that Olivia's no good for him.
Still hung up on Max, eh? Take my advice, Angel. Forget about him. He's a gambling racketeer.
Like you.
Oh, that hurts, baby.
Hey, shh! Here they come.
Come on, sugar. How about a kiss for the road?
Oh, ick. Don't let me down, Nick. You're a lawyer. You're not supposed to have feelings.
I don't, but I know a good tart when I see one. Hey! If Maximino sees that, we're going to end up in matching terracotta pots.
Don't be silly. He wouldn't hurt me. He loves me. Manny, at last, tell me, how are the bourgeoisie?
Fine. How's Max?
Oh, Gramps, don't start.
What are you doing with a snake like Nick?
I'd lay it on you, Manny, but I don't think you'd get it.
Messing around with your boyfriend's lawyer is pretty dangerous.
Oh, maybe I was wrong. You do get it.
I'm a little worried about Lola.
That's because she's doomed, Manny. She fell in love with Maximino. That's the one mistake I never made.
You think Nick would hurt her?
Only if he finds her, and take it from me. He's not good at finding things.
Open mic night seems like a big hit.
It always takes those timid souls a while to get up the nerve.
Maybe it would help if you went up there and started things rolling.
Oh, Manny, read poetry in my own club? That would be like this whole place was just a big temple set up to worship me.
Oh, come.
Okay. Alive. We slept. Life's just some rapid eye movement. In a warm, cozy bed. Buried. We wake. The flesh dream is over, Daddy. Now that we're all crazy dead.
That was great.
Yeah, but that's the last one.
Little dark in here, don't you think?
Dark and cold, like the hearts of men.
You know, I'm thinking of buying this place.
Really? I thought about buying yours for a while, but then I just decided to ask my boyfriend Max to buy it for me.
You can have it.
Manny, you sound so exciting all of a sudden. Why are you leaving town?
Johnny Law, baby. You see, I'm a grifter. I'm bad news.
Yeah, right. You're running after that ghost chick everyone says you're still so uptight about. Well, I have a poem I wrote just for you. Pay attention because it's pretty short. Here it goes. Ch ah 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 ah
Well, catch you later, hip chick.
Keep practicing that lingo, man. You'll get it.
He's having a problem. Okay. As somebody who went through this in childhood, I suggest booking in for an EEG. They may prescribe for you valproic acid that could help with like this. It could possibly bring these back. We do want to keep an eye on your levels for the medication in your blood, so we're gonna have to get you in for frequent visits to take blood for blood work, of course. And, not your skeleton, so that'll be difficult. But, we'll figure that out. So I have a theory about how their bodies work, because very clearly underneath their clothes they're still skeletons. Take that one scene where, and I can't remember which female character is doing, but they're rolling up leggings. And I mentioned this in my first playthrough, but now I got ATM hearing it. So I think their bodies act like where they would physically be in their living bodies still sort of exists as an outer layer that you don't see, and that's how the leggings are the proper shape for legs and stuff like that, but the second they're gone, they're gone. Hey, look, John's there.
And then for some reason, I was always really interested in beatniks. Beatniks and Reds. I think because it was so foreign to me, like the Red Scare was not part of my actual life, but it always seemed like this thing is, it's hard, it's funny. It was always funny to me to imagine how passionate people were about that, how big
Oh,
of a
yeah.
deal it was for them. And it was always so, but if from a safe distance, it was just kind of entertaining. Like, oh wow, people are like, we're really concerned about communists everywhere and unions and.
No, I remember there were, when I was a little kid, there were people would still talk about communist plots in all seriousness. Yeah.
There's that spotlight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this was another, like, we lifted up the, or took the technology from Render Droid, which was in Jedi Knight, but it didn't have spotlights at the time. It just had directional lights and point lights. So that was actually one of the very first things when
it's the first
when
thing
I got,
you did.
yeah, when I got hired onto the team, which I was brand new to LucasArts, and Tim and Brett brought me in, and my first thing I was like, I'm gonna put in spotlights because I know how to do that, and it's gonna matter, and that'll be my stake in the ground. And this was one of the first scenes I worked on that had spotlights. So when Manny walks off stage and you see the light, you know, when he walks out of the light, that was a pretty important moment. Everybody thought that was pretty cool. I was like, all right, I did something. I'm in this amazing project with this amazing team, and I did something.
Good evening. I like to read a poem. Wantingness. Break the mirror with your silence. Confuse yourselves. I reach out. Inside a dream, inside a dream, inside a dream. Eating through your brain. Painkiller. Pain. Killer. I am severely touched. Beauty, aroundness. Unify. Rectify. Glambake. Does he hear? Hear? For what purpose? And tomorrow? In the slaughterhouse of my soul, I curl into a fist. Scooby-Dah. The lie. Absolution. Can it be yesterday? Bones, bones, bones. You said this to me in your sleep. The end. Gracias. Muchísimas gracias.
There's a proper solution to that puzzle, I imagine. If that is a puzzle. Or it's just something in there for fun. I don't put it beyond something for fun, but I think I'm supposed to win them over with a good poem or something.
Testing? Testing. So what is up with airplane food anyway?
Is he trying to be funny?
I mean, it's so small and not that good.
There's nothing funny about being dead, comrade. Life is pain, death is worse. My funny bone must have fell off in the hearse.
It was very fun. It was very fun.
All right. Who's ready to rock and roll? Maybe later then, okay? Is there an Anselmo Naranja in the audience tonight?
He's down at Toto's place getting carved. If he's not passed out under a dock somewhere.
Interesting.
Hey, can anyone out there help me get into the Maritime Union?
Hey, we're into organizing labor, not sabotaging labor.
Anyone out there know where I can find some tools?
The only tool in here is you. Yeah, tool of the government, monkey wrench of the man.
Orale, you've been a great audience. Good night, Rubacaba.
Alright. So we did this. Hey, there's a whole other door here, though. It seems like something fun. I don't know if you played, well...
Just a dab will drop you.
But Happy Action
Hey, man,
Theater,
you didn't see me put the
Kinect
secret
game
ingredient in these coffin shooters, did you?
360.
Relax. Olivia stole the
It
recipe from me in the
seems
first
like
place.
a basic camera toy.
She steals
But
from
it's
the
so
rich
much
and
fun.
gives to me to
And it's
poor.
there's no real goal to anything. But I think that's what he tries to bring, at least. It's just, although then there's like the meat circus. I don't know. Anyways.
I'm not gonna drink dirty hookah water, and I can't carry it with my bare hands.
Absolutely.
In the final version
Thank
of the
you very
game, are the backgrounds actually just pre-rendered flats?
Yes, they are.
See, that's amazing to me because we live in the world of 3D now. We're used to floating the camera around inside of these things, but once you chose your camera angle to pre-render something, that was it. There you go.
No, it's Manny walking around in a blank 3D room with Z-depth data to clip him in front of the stuff that he needs to clip in front of.
Let the waiter clean up after himself. I don't get the feeling those cleaning supplies are used much around here. Nothing in the dishwasher. Not to sound like a capitalist oppressor, but I have people who do not portable. Ooh, food waste. As soon as I think of a use for stinky food waste, I'll give it a shot.
I like it. I sort of like it when instead of dial. What? Look at this place. What's wrong? Wait, no, that's where we came. Go this way.
This is where I had never heard of actual sea bees before, and someone made that. I talked about how they could be these bees down there, and they're like, oh, like sea bees, and I was like, what are sea bees?
Yeah, they were a Navy thing. Yeah.
And wait, does that come from the letters CB? Like something?
I don't know.
Or construction brigade or something?
Yeah, good.
Like
Jeep comes from general personnel vehicle. Yeah.
So, and this bee is called Terry because of the character from On the Waterfront, Marlon Brando's character named Terry. So that's where we got all that stuff.
Cold one, huh, Terry?
Yeah, it's always cold when you're unemployed, Manny.
Who's unemployed? Aren't you guys in the union?
The union? They don't look after us little guys. They're run by the coppers. And you of all people should know, Manny, that the cops are in bed with the gambling joints.
Hey, I run an honest joint. We ain't in bed with nobody.
What about the
Do you
protection
think the
money?
length
We
of
pay every
Grim
week, on the
Fandango
nose,
is a
through the nose,
reaction
like
to
an honest
people's
place should.
reaction to
See
the
what I mean?
shortness
This town
of
is just a
full
big
throttle?
conga line of hustlers, all laughing and dancing and scratching each other's backs.
Or just the fact that they had so many artists together and he was able to do something like this and he just didn't want to stop making.
Why aren't you guys up there working?
You don't know the deal down here on the docks, do you, Manny? If you want to get the jobs, you have to pay the unions extra dues. And that ain't cheap. We don't pay, and so they put us on barrel duty.
Why don't you just pay the union off then?
We got our pride, Manny. We're straight stingers, you know? Not to mention we just don't have any cash to spare now that we're not working. I mean, it's like a problem where, the solution makes the problem, worse.
Like a catch-22?
Yeah, wow. I wish I knew words like that.
If the union is crooked, why don't you register a complaint?
That's a good one, Manny. Did you hear that, guys? He thinks we should register a complaint.
You bees are being exploited. You should do something about it.
Yeah, what can we do? We're just a handful of unorganized drones. We don't know nothing about nothing except just how to take it on the chin.
I think you're just a bunch of complainers.
You don't know what it's like, man. Every day we come down here, we try and make an honest living. We find out that you gotta be a crooked bee to win down here. He knocks the pollen out of you, man. He makes you weak.
Since you're not using your tools, think I could borrow them?
Well, we sold them to feed our families.
And how are you ever gonna work?
I told you things were messed up down here, Manny. I told you.
If the cops own the union and gambling's in bed with the cops...
Yeah, and then who really runs the gambling, right? Well, no offense, but Maximino is really the big boy in town, obviously. But word is, he gets his orders from some hardcore gangsters in El Mero. Yeah, that fancy cat track is really just a big laundromat, if you get my drift.
Stories that, especially stories that resonated with you during childhood, and then to look at them again with adult eyes and just see all the parts of it that didn't even like register in the brain of a youth sort of thing, right? Like,
You guys know a seaman naranja?
Nah, CBs and sailors don't mix.
But you're in the same union.
Well, maybe so, but some traditions are sacred there, Manny.
I guess the song's over now. Hey.
Hey, can I borrow one of your union cards?
What, are you kidding? You know how much I had to pay Chow Chilla Charlie to get mine?
You bees gotta be strong.
Things just aren't the way they should be down here, Manny. It's like the worker bees. They do all the work, but we can't affect it's like the way that things are produced should be controlled by, we should,
on the
forget
edge of
it. I'm just a dumb, hungry, out-of-work bee.
No, you do.
That's Raphael Sparge,
Thank
who,
you.
He was actually the main character in Knights of the Old Republic, in the original game, but Raphael was a big on-camera guy and hadn't really done a lot of voiceover, and there's a scene later on where he's addressing all of the workers. And the thing about Raphael was that he physically performs when he's in the studio.
Oh, right.
So as he was addressing the field, he kept on going off mic, and so the engineer's like, "Oh, we got to keep him on mic." And so I said, "Hey, Raphael, can you stay on mic?" He's like, "Oh, really sorry." We re-rolled, and all of a sudden his energy just went.
Oh, interesting.
Down, and so it just wasn't working the same way. So we pulled out another 2 mics and put him out.
Oh, that's great.
So that he could then go, "You are the fat cats of industry," and he could kind of move his head, and we still caught it. And so then we just cut around the 3 tracks to get the final
that's
take.
so crazy.
Yeah. But he's a great actor.
Clearly have to find something to push them over the edge that way. Thank you for the But we're getting close to where I am going to have to end the stream today. My wife is home with our boys, I do believe, so thank you. I'm sorry that you had to remind me so much, ATF. do appreciate that you have. Just no sort of hot spot to be had with that, eh? Oh, no, there it is.
It's locked.
Like the obvious front, but it's locked. So. Fast over there.
This gate only leads up to the Lambada dock, and the Lambada's gone. I've got the lumps to prove it.
There's not much point in that. Not doing that.
There it is. Max's giant cat racetrack. How's a regular guy with 3 roulette tables supposed to compete with that?
To some extent, Grim Fandango is a bit of a mutt. It's got pieces of Jedi Knight, it's got pieces of Scum, it's got pieces of Outlaws, it's got pieces of, it's got iMuse coming in, and it's got the Lua language. So it was a game kind of made on a shoot, for all the technical challenges in it. A lot of pieces were sort of pre-existing, and kind of it was a matter of maybe a new era of game development where you don't write everything from scratch, but you kind of put it together in the best possible way.
Well, and one of the kind of the side effects of that was, since we had pretty robust solutions to video playback and rendering and art pipes in front of us.
I was thinking
really,
possibly like
a lot of the effort,
areas,
aside from just making everything, all the blocking and tackling working, was spent in on how to making games like this convenient and producible and artist friendly. And you had built some tools that were really unlike the things that appeared in RenderDroid or Smush or some of the technologies it was built on. So it's a bit of a mutt in that we borrowed a bunch of really great technology, but there's also a lot of really innovative stuff.
Oh yeah, let's jump right into whatever that is. Cool. Alright. Tattoo shop.
The one thing for a sound designer or for a composer,
was trying to do the commentary.
when the story
it
is
kept
great
disappearing when I was
and the
pressing
writing
edit.
is great and the
Do it.
pacing is great, whether it's a film or a game,
it was troubling me.
You can't help but weigh in a successful way yourself, because there's this flow already, and you're just participating with it and enhancing it. One of the jobs of a composer, especially in a game like this, a lot of time passes, and you need to both entertain the listener and provide musical interest, but it has to also last for a very long time without being tiresome. And I think Pete did a great job at striking a balance between a great deal of musical interest, but also kind of hanging back and taking its time and letting the story unfold, letting the player concentrate on the game.
Even more. Okay, there's just a pile of different ones. And how do why is it being so... Okay.
And so that guy, Toto Santos, which is the name of All Souls Day, that was one important casting thing that meant so much at the time. And I love The Usual Suspects.
Yes.
And there's a burn victim in the very beginning of the game, a guy who was burned on the ship.
Right.
And he's in the bed, and he's the first guy who says, "Guys are so safe."
Okay, right.
He's this Hungarian or Polish
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
And we got that actor to do Toto Santos' voice, because I was like, I want him to sound like that guy from Usual Suspects. And so if you listen to him,
That's awesome.
Like, I wanted to have him say, "Guys are so safe."
I love how all the characters have very distinct voices that match their personality and their look. Like, how much would Tim give you direction, and how much was your direction influencing?
Well, like ideally, when you go through the process, you you have character pictures along with the audition copy, and we would send that out to the various agencies, and the auditions would come back, and I mean, it kind of, the process kind of does that for you, because you're listening to the auditions and you're looking at the picture, and you narrow it down to, like, a handful of candidates, and then sort of we'd sit down with Tim and just go through them, and that's, sometimes there's only one choice, you just know it.
Right. It's just so great.
Yeah.
All of them.
What you do is you cast for, like, the major characters, and then you use that same talent pool with a lot of the smaller characters. Right. And so that's why Kay is, he was cast for Velasco, but then the croupier just was one of those that's like, okay, well, that fits, he works.
So you let the actors pretty much kind of come up with their character as well when they look at the picture?
Yeah. You definitely, like, for this secondary characters, they're totally undefined when you're in the studio, and so you just kind of sit there, look at the picture, look at the lines, talk about it, just set a dialogue voice in, and then go.
I just create. I love it. It's just creative everywhere, like through the whole thing. Like, not just with us, but even with the actors and
Right.
stuff like that. And you really are like watching a movie.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Absolutely. And you really want that relationship between sort of the voiceover director and the actor to be collaborative, and allow them the freedom to bring stuff to the table and try things, and it just adds a lot.
Hola, Toro. ¿Cómo estás?
Not now, Manny. I'm in the middle of something with Naranja here.
Looks like it hurts. There's stronger stuff than that in there already. There's stronger stuff than that in there already. The can opener wouldn't work there. I think these are binders of tattoo designs. They're labeled nautical and nice, and a third one just says Anchormania. I think these are binders of tattoo designs.
I told you, Calavera, not now.
Hello, operator? Yeah, it's me, baby. How'd you know? Hey, don't say that, sweetheart. You know I meant to stop by and... I'm more happy about leaving town every minute. A lot of stains for a guy with no bodily fluids. It's empty.
Hey, shut door. You slowed down my grinder. Very painful, eh, Naranja? Like torture. Eh? Who is over there? When I am done with Naranja here, I am going to tattoo big floppy ears on the side of your head so people will know what a jackass you are.
Actually, guys, I am going to have to cut it here. Let's go ahead and make this save. This is an appropriate place to save, though, considering our line of work. But they are home now, and I have to go be a dad. Thank you very much, and thank you for all the help and reminders today, ATM Machine. I am making a point within the remasters to play the commentary, so I would also hate to have missed, and the ones that were missed in catch you next time. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back at it on Thursday, and take care, guys. Catch you next stream. Bye, guys.